What's up, K-Block, and welcome to the block if you're new to my channel, guys. So today is gonna be a story time. I know it's been a while since I've done a story time, but today is gonna be kind of a juicy story time about Spain. So I mean, I wouldn't call it juicy, I guess it was just an interesting experience that I had. I've actually told this story to my friends and they were like, you should do a video on this. So let's just get into the video. For the sake of privacy and not want to expose people, I'm going to give people names. So I guess there were significantly 4 other people that didn't include myself. One would be my roommate, and I'm going to name her Shayla for the sake of this video. My director, he's just gonna be named director. Let's just not even give him a name. My host mom, I'm gonna name her Anne. And then my professor, what should I name her? Oh, I almost said her name. Let's just call her Lena. So remember these names as I'm talking about this story. So if you didn't know, I did go to Spain for a summer. I completed some classes abroad. It was always a dream of mine to study abroad. Like, I was legit so excited to be able to experience this. So I don't want to trade that experience for the world, even though there were some things that happened that I wish could have been different. First, we stayed with host families during our study abroad trip in Spain. And we stayed in Segovia, so it's an hour away from Madrid, which is where we flew into. So we arrived in Segovia after an hour-long bus ride after a long flight. So we were very tired, and we meet our host families, and Anne was there, and she met me and Shayla. And me and Shayla knew each other from our university, so me and Shayla were like excited. We were excited that we were gonna be roommates. So we met Anne, and Anne, she didn't seem very friendly right off the bat, like compared to like other host moms that were there. She was just like, oh hey, like, and of course she only spoke Spanish. So she was nice, but she wasn't overly nice. Like, she wasn't friendly. She didn't feel very welcoming, if that was a way that I could describe it. So she met me and Taylor, and we drove up to our little apartment, and we got in there, and she gave us a tour of the house, and then last she told us where we would be staying, and we were in this room together. Me and Taylor were going to be in the same room, and not that we expected luxurious living, but we got in our room, we were like, whoa, this room is so tiny. Like, we were in a bunk bed. We were deciding like who was going to be on top and the bottom, like that sounds so funny, but like, it was a very small room, and if I have a picture I will insert how it looks for you guys. So basically we slept that day, and we met up with our director later, and our director's like, hey guys, if anything goes wrong during this trip, let me know. Come to me and I will fix it. I am the fixer of all the problems. So keep that in mind. He told us to go to him with any problems, any little problems, whatever. So let's skip a couple weeks. We've been there for a couple weeks. Our host mom's pretty nice. Once again, she's not overly friendly, but she's nice. She helps us. She's correcting our vocabulary if we're using our Spanish wrong, our grammar. And she's chill. She's cool. So one morning, me and Shayla wake up, and there is no running water where we're staying. And our host mom comes in and is like, yeah, the water's out. We don't know. It probably will be back on a little later. So she has like buckets of water and bottles of water for us to get washed up and all that jazz. So no big deal. Like, stuff happens. We're not mad at her or anything, but we go on about our day, go to class. We ended up taking a hike that day, and I don't know if that was a mandatory hike or if that was something we just decided to do. But like, we were out all day. We were new to the city. We were exploring Segovia, and we were having a good time. So we get back and there's still no running water, and we're like, okay, well, it's very much later in the day, so okay, cool. Let's not make a big deal out of it. Cool. Then we asked our senorita, that's what we called them. So we asked Anne, can we like take a shower? Like, is there a way we can take a shower? Like, if you know any neighbors, like we want to get clean. So we ended up taking a shower at her neighbors. It was like literally the worst shower of my life. Like she said it was kind of rude to do that apparently. So like we only had like 2 minutes each legit to take a shower in this other lady's home. Understood, still didn't make a big fuss out of it. The next day, there's still no water. So we're still using buckets and bottles. And cool, like, okay, so we're asking her, do you know when the water will be back on? Like, we're just curious. We know that we want to explore the city, but we don't want to keep putting ourselves in positions where we have to ask to use other people's showers or whatever the case is, or just be too sweaty. Like, this is a city where you walk everywhere, y'all. Like, there's no cars really riding around. It's like a walking city. And it's it's beautiful. It's a very fun place. I'm gonna insert some pictures for you guys, but we still had no water. So that day passed, and the next day we still didn't have running water. So we ended up going to our director, and we're like, hey, yeah, at our host family's house, they don't have running water. We just haven't been able to really consistently take showers and do the things that we need to do to feel clean here, and you know, whatever. So he's like, oh, why don't they have running water? I will have to reach out to them. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, he's gonna handle it. It's no big deal. We're not mad at her. Nothing. So he kind of like, the next time, like, he was like, do you guys still have running water? Don't have running water? I'm like, God, we talked to you like hours ago. Like, what do you mean do we? Like, I mean, you haven't contacted her, like, something, like, to ask her herself. We've been out all day. So he kind of gets an attitude or whatever. So then Lena, who is the professor on the trip, Lena, what can I say about Lena? Lena's something else. I did not like her, to say the least. I did not like her. But Lena, that's a whole nother story, time for another day. If y'all want to know about Lena and my experience with my professor abroad, let me know in the comments. However, Lena comes up to me and Shayla and like, hey, tell me what's going on with your host family. Like, what's going on? Like, I heard you guys don't have water. And we told her, yeah, we tried to tell the director. He's kind of dismissive about it in a way, but we're just trying to figure out what to do, like where we can shower freely, like, you know, deal with this problem. So she acts as if she's trying to help us. Lena's something else. Lena's a trip. That's all I can say about Lena. And Lena is a trip, and I don't like her. But we talked to Lena. She acts like she's gonna actively help us find somewhere that we can shower and possibly just get things taken care of as far as the water situation. So we got back to our host family's house, and Anne was there, and she was like very hostile. Like, so it was lunchtime, and we always ate lunch with her and her husband. Me and Shayla always sat at the table, ate lunch with her and her husband, and it was the thing we did every day. And they would usually talk to us then and share things with us and whatever. So we get to the table, and it's, you know, you can feel the tension in a room when it's not right. So it's like heavily tension, and me and Taylor, shoot, gotta beat that out. Me and Shayla was looking at each other, and we were like, what's going on? Like, well, why is it so hostile in here, y'all? So Anne just comes out, and keep in mind, she's speaking Spanish the whole time, so like she doesn't really understand English. She's like, so why did you tell about the water? That's not our fault, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's going pretty much saying, asking us why did we tell our director about not having running water. And I'm immediately confused. I'm like, oh, I try to explain to her, like, hey, we're not upset about the water. We're just trying to find a place to shower every day. Since you guys shower isn't working, you know, we're trying to figure out a solution. So her and her husband like proceed to talk about us like we're not sitting there. And I keep in mind they're speaking Spanish, and you know, they're speaking pretty fast. And just keep in mind, me and Taylor do know Spanish. Like, we are not the best at everything, but we know and we can understand majority of the conversation. And one thing I picked up was that Americans are selfish, which I can see where they're coming from, but not in that case. Not in that case. Wasn't being selfish, wasn't mad at her or whatever. So it made me turn back to the director. I'm like, what did you say to her? Like, we just are trying to find a place to shower. So then it goes back on me and Shayla, like, oh, maybe we approached it wrong. Maybe we have attitudes. Maybe it's coming off as we're ungrateful for our living situation and all that jazz. And I'm like, I have notes, y'all, so I'm sorry. I keep looking down. Yeah, it may seem like we're ungrateful, but it just like, no, we're just trying to find a place to shower. Sorry. Is that not normal? I mean, we could only take 5-minute showers as it was in Spain, and like, so we just want to shower. I mean, is that not normal? But here comes Lena again. So after our host family's mad, we in lunch, we kind of go out again because we're kind of like not comfortable with being at the house like right away. And we bump into Lena again, and she was like, well, yeah, I talked to the director, and I think it's probably the way you guys approach the situation. First of all, lady, you were sitting there validating our feelings and saying that we had every right to want to have a place to shower and get clean, and now you're saying that our approach was wrong, even though we respectfully asked the director like what should we do, and we like we're communicating with our host mom, our senora, and the whole time. So it just seemed like there was a lot of stirring the pot in the background between the director and Lena. And that is like something like me and Shayla were very upset about, because it was like, we literally haven't done anything. And I tell you, like, after that situation, okay, the next day the water finally was working again and problem solved. We didn't even have to do anything. But by that point, me and Shayla were so uncomfortable in that house because they weren't talking to us. They were talking about us. They continued to like ignore us. They did the bare minimum for us, which I mean, they don't have to do anything for us like extraordinary, but provide us a place to live. But they were also cooking our meals every day, like to the point where me and Shayla were like texting our senora like, you don't have to cook tonight, and we're just gonna go out to eat like and find some food and that type of stuff. It was just awkward for the rest of the trip. Like the rest of my study abroad experience, like as far as the host families went, like I was like feeling like, oh, like this is so weird. Like I wish we could like start over and this water situation never happened. But ultimately I feel like me and Taylor, I keep saying her name, I wonder if she cares, me and Shayla, ultimately like just felt uncomfortable with the situation, not having running water and walking everywhere and whatever. But our host mom did not like us. And like, okay, so at the end of our study abroad trip, all the host families come together, all the senoritas, with the students. They come and they have like a dinner and they talk about their experiences of the month. And tell me why every other senora was there except ours. Like, she really did not like us after that situation. She just didn't like us. And it felt awkward because it's like, it made it seem as if me and Shayla had did something to her. And in reality, it was all over like water and trying to find a place to shower. But I mean, cultural differences could have played a role into that situation, maybe, possibly. But at the same time, I feel like really who was stirring the pot behind the scenes was Lena and the director and whatever. I guess, like, it is what it is. Like, if I could change that part of my study abroad experience, I definitely would, but I couldn't. And it is what it is. Like, I just heard, like, at that party, I felt some type of way. I'm like, everyone, senoritas are talking about them and loving, like, love this experience and got to know them, and our senora just doesn't like us. But I kind of felt like she never liked us in the first place, and I don't know if that was because we are black. But possibly could have been. I mean, me and Taylor, but with the exception of one other girl, me and Shayla, was, with the exception of one other girl, we're the only black girls on the trip, so possibly could have been a race issue. But I'm not saying that, but Lena, I definitely feel like she has some racial issues going on, whatever. But overall, I loved Spain. Besides, like, that experience, like, Spain was amazing. It was beautiful. It was so many cultural differences that I definitely appreciated, but they were worth it. They were definitely worth it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this story time. I'm sorry it's a little long and drawn out. Definitely let me know if you made it to the end of the video. Comment a Spain flag emoji. And I thank you guys for watching. I will have videos dropping back to back, so y'all make sure that you guys like this video, you guys comment, and then you guys subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you get notified every time that I post a video, because I am dropping bangers back to back. Also, let me know in the comments if you guys like this video setting better. Does it look more quality to you guys, or do you guys want me to play around some more? Let me know. So until next time, guys, peace.